Look at the North American wilderness. To survive out here, jumping from freezing tundra to dense, humid forests, an animal must adapt to extreme environments. This illustration shows the sheer biological scale we're dealing with in the deer family. You have the elk, weighing up to 1,000 pounds, and the massive moose, which can reach nearly 2,000 pounds, about the size of a large draft horse. And this companion page details the other three members: the mule deer, the white-tailed deer, and the caribou. Despite their radically different shapes and sizes, all five of these animals share a highly specialized biological toolkit. Unlike a lot of other wildlife, these animals don't build dens or permanent homes. To survive the shifting seasons, they rely entirely on the engineering of their own bodies. Because they lack a physical nest or den, spring is incredibly dangerous. When females give birth, their babies have to hide out in the open forest. A newborn fawn relies on physiological camouflage. It is born almost entirely odorless, so predators can't sniff it out, and it's covered in bright white spots that blend perfectly into the dappled light of the forest floor. While the fawns are quietly hiding, the males are undergoing a massive biological energy drain. They are actively regenerating an entirely new set of bone antlers from scratch. Spring is a quiet season of preparation. They are building the armor and the physical foundation needed for the trials coming later in the year. When summer hits, that quiet growth turns into a frantic race. They have to consume massive amounts of calories to fuel those growing antlers and pack on winter fat reserves. This anatomical cross-section shows exactly how they process all that food. They have a highly engineered 4-part stomach. They swallow plants almost whole to fill the largest chamber quickly, then retreat to a hidden spot to regurgitate and chew the cud, extracting every possible nutrient. The required intake is staggering. A moose will actively dive deep underwater to pull up nutrient-rich aquatic plants, consuming the equivalent of 90 large salad bowls of greens in a single day. But eating that much means keeping their heads down, making them prime targets for ambush predators. This diagram highlights their built-in escape mechanisms. Side-mounted eyes give them a panoramic view of the forest, and their light, sturdy leg bones act like springs. In a fraction of a second, they can accelerate to 35 miles per hour and clear an 8-foot obstacle. Their bodies operate as high-performance engines, capable of aggressively digesting deep caloric intake while remaining physically coiled for an explosive retreat. By the time fall arrives, the physiology of the males shifts drastically. The blood-rich velvet that nourished their growing antlers dies and peels off, revealing solid, razor-sharp bone underneath. All of that summer foraging was building up to this. They use these hardened antlers to violently mark their territory on trees and to battle other males for mating rights. These are massive biological weapons. A large moose's rack can weigh up to 90 pounds, the equivalent of carrying an 11-year-old child entirely on its head. The peaceful fueling of the summer is weaponized in the fall. It's a brutal sorting mechanism, guaranteeing that only the strongest genetics are passed on before the lethal cold arrives. Winter is the ultimate physiological test. The landscape freezes solid, and their food supply is buried under snow and ice. Look at this close-up diagram of a caribou hoof. To survive as the deer of the north, their hooves literally spread wide as they step, acting as biological snowshoes to keep their heavy bodies from sinking into the powder. That efficiency is critical because caribou herds endure a massive test of endurance, migrating up to 1,600 miles across icy tundra and frozen rivers just to find enough feeding grounds to survive. Meanwhile, animals like the elk face a localized, grueling struggle. They have to burn their precious calories digging deep holes through the snow just to uncover hidden grasses and leaves. Navigating these freezing months requires highly specialized, species-specific tools. Without them, they would simply starve. As winter finally ends, the males execute one last physiological trick to conserve their remaining energy. They drop their heavy antlers, resetting the entire process. The deer family doesn't try to insulate itself from the harsh realities of the wild. Their biology is perfectly synchronized to it. From rapid bone regeneration to 4-chambered stomachs and biological snowshoes, they represent a masterclass in evolutionary design. built to seamlessly navigate the unending cycle of nature.